Okay, so I would like to share a little bit with you about journaling. I mention this a lot whenever you come in and you work with me, and we're kind of talking about different things that are coming up. And journaling has been a crucial part of my healing journey. I started journaling probably a decade ago. When I first started journaling, it was more out of um, a need to help my brain, my dyslexic brain, remember things. So I could read things, but then I wouldn't remember. And so I was like, what's the point of trying to do this if you can't remember? So that's kind of where my journaling started, is just more taking notes. And then it kind of evolved into, as I was reading things, the things that would pop out or stand out to me. And then I would see, it was almost like it would tell a story. It was really neat whenever that first started happening. Whenever I would just write phrases as to what I was reading, whether that was out of a self-help book or whether that was out of the Bible or anything like that. I was just reading like those things that maybe, or I was writing down those things, maybe those things that I would go and read twice, or they just kind of popped off the page. Those are the things that I would start to write down. And it was very interesting to go back and just read those after that kind of little session was over. And the story that it told, and the direction and the insight that it gave, it was really neat how that kind of happened. And then it evolved even more from that into being able to like release things. So whether I was like writing people letters and never sending them, but just it was a way to get the information out, the chaos or the clutter in my brain out. There's actually research around that says like writing, the actual movement of your hand is so much it helps to clear the mind versus like typing or texting. And so that's why that's another reason why I'm a huge proponent of actual handwritten journaling. So there's that component that I had stepped into of writing in order to releasing difficult situations, or just talking about different situations. And there came a point, probably about 5 years into journaling, where that it might have even been 6 years into it. I'm not sure, but these are the cliff notes to help you go faster so you don't take so long to get to the good stuff, But anyway, where my journaling shifted from just my thoughts to where it was communication between me and God. I had a beautiful soul share it with me, yes, writing to release, but then so we were writing like hurt letters or writing letters to where I was able to release the pain, but then in addition to that, always writing letters to God. So not just complaining about it, that was me at the time, but then sharing these things with God. And my brain was like, well, God already knows these things. Like, I don't need to like write it down. But that's honestly where the magic happened, is whenever I started shifting my journaling to writing to God. Like, we were talking back and forth. So at first it felt really one-sided because I didn't know. I didn't even really have a prayer life at that time. I guess I did, but it wasn't an intimate prayer life. And then this and my journaling is where it really shifted that for me. And so being able to write those things out to God. And in the beginning, it was really difficult. It was difficult to put it on paper, even though God already knew. He already knew my thoughts. He already knew what had happened. He'd already known. But there's something so powerful because he wants to know our hearts. And so I think that is why the journaling is so important to me, and why I mention it so much whenever I'm working with clients, is this, it's kind of the foundation to building a relationship with God, for me, at least it was, and to where I could really get to where any and everything, I can write it and I can share. And then there came this point of whenever I was pouring it all out, day after day after day. Consistency is key with this, but day after day. And then I started to hear the Holy Spirit speak back. And so, talk about like, whoa. And that was incredible. And so being able to write and start to have this conversation and this dialogue with God was just fabulous, providing insight onto things. And it's just like your daily bread. So that's why I do it every day, every morning, because he gives you the tools. He gives you exactly what you need for that day. Some of those things, some of those sayings may be cliche, especially if you grew up in church and religion and those types of things. But for me, the journaling, that is what it has been, is my daily bread, to where I have that conversation, those intimate conversations with God in the morning, pouring out my heart and receiving peace for the day, so that I can pour into others that come into my path and bring hope. That is the mission that he has given me. He gave me genuine hope over 10 years ago. And it's been a process of walking that out and learning what that is. And a lot, I would say 90% of that has come through journaling and that intimate conversation with God. So if you have questions or comments or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. I would love to have more conversation around it. If you have questions, I'd love to have be able to answer some questions as well. So please don't hesitate. And I look forward to more conversations along this line.